Hi, how you doing? Thanks so much for being here. I'm Instructor Wayne Jenkins. In today's video lesson, we are going to be doing a amp review of the Marshall DSL20HR, which is the head. And I've got it plugged into a 12-inch speaker cabinet. And we're going to check out what the amp's all about. All right? So if you're looking for a cool little amp to help you with your guitar tone and everything, and you love Marshall like me, stick around and we'll see what this amp's all about.
Audio Jungle.
Okay, so here we have the Marshall DSL20. The HR, H stands for head, R stands for reverb. It's got built-in reverb, it's got presence, it's got resonance, and then a 3-band equalizer, bass, middle, treble, and you got your 2 channels, ultra gain and classic gain, and then you have a tone shift knob. You also have an effects loop in the back and a foot switch to control the channels and the effects loop if you want to use pedals, okay? So, and what I have it in right now is just plugged into the Marshall 1x12 speaker cabinet that kind of goes with this head. Okay, you can plug them into all kinds of different speaker cabinets, 2x12s, 1x12, 4x12, whatever you want to do. This one is specifically designed for this amp. Okay, that's what I like about it. So, and what this is called a mini stack. That's what they call this, is a mini stack. So it's kind of a smaller version of your like half stack Marshall, which is what I like about it. Okay, so right now I have it on clean and I have it on 20 watts. It's got the, right here you've got your power on switch, and then you have your standby, which gives you the option to have full power or half power. So 20 watts is full power, 10 watts is half power. Right now I have it on full power and I have it on a clean channel. And like I said before with my other reviews, with tone, it's all in how you shape the knobs, okay? It's all in how you shape these knobs as you get the tone that you want. Now usually I have the reverb up as digital reverb instead of spring reverb. And I've got the resonance all the way up. If I bring the resonance down, it gives it a little bit more of a bassier tone. The presence, I usually have that all the way up because I want a nice full presence sound, kind of in your face. And then I've got the bass up, the middle, I have about halfway, and then I have the treble about 3/4 of the way up. And that's on a clean sound. And you get that classic Marshall tone. And like I said, a lot of it has to do with the way you, and you also have this tone shift knob too, I forgot about that. Okay. So you have your tone shift that if you push it in, it gives you a little bit of a, kind of puts in, takes out the mids a little bit, gives you a little bit of a bassier tone as well, okay? So, if we have all the knobs all the way up, on let's say 10, and we have the tone shift out, we get that classic Marshall tone that you get from like the 60s and 70s, you know, that classic like plexi sound. Great for playing like pop or, you know, rock or country or, you know, a number of styles of music that you can play with that, you know, jazz. Perfect for that, or if you want to just like strum some chords, you know. Now what I like about this too is that on the clean channel here, I know you can't really see a lot because my guitar is in the way, but on the clean channel you also have a gain knob, so you can have the gain, you know, at like 2 or 3, you have a nice clean sound, you know, and it stays clean. Or you can turn it up and it'll stay clean, but the sound will break up as you hit the guitar harder. You can kind of hear how it distorts. Okay, and that's what's great about these tube amps. That's what really makes them popular, as opposed to the solid state amps is that these tube amps, they kind of interact with the way you play. So if you play quiet and soft, it stays clean. But if you hit the guitar harder, you know, you can hear how it distorts a little bit, okay? And that's what's great about these type of tube amps, that you don't really get that with solid state. Solid state has its benefits too. Those are a little bit different, but with these tube amps, they really interact with the way you play, which is what I love about tube amps. So like I said, if you're playing clean, you can have that gain up there to give you a little bit more grit if you're playing harder, or you can just take it out and have a nice clean sound, whatever you prefer to have, okay? Now, so that's clean, that's the clean channel, that's the ultra gain, oh no, I'm sorry, that's the classic gain, okay, and they call it the classic gain because it has that gain knob in there to give you that option, or you could just keep it clean if you like, whatever you like to do. Now, in addition to that, we have the second channel, which is our ultra gain, which gives us our classic Marshall distortion. You know, that classic, like, okay, and that's with everything pegged at 10, everything. Now, for me, that's a nice bright tone, you know, it works pretty good for that kind of stuff. But me, I like to have a little bit of a bassier tone, just a little bit more bottom end a little bit. So I take out some of the mid and the high. And it kind of takes off the treble a little bit, okay? Or what you can do is you can have that scoop sound where you have the bass up, the treble up, and the mid all the way out. You can tell that gives a little bit of a different tone. You can also, if you want, have the mid up, all the way up like before. Nice classic bright sound. And you can push in the tone shift knob. You can hear how that, kind of hear how I took off the highs a little bit. You know, I took off so it's not so bright and ringy. Gives a little bit more of kind of that scoop sound. And then if you were to take out the bass, I mean, I'm sorry, not the bass, but the mid, you can tell how it totally changed the tone. Maybe kind of more of a bassy bottom end kind of tone with that. You know? And Marshalls are known for being like bright. That's what I love about Marshalls, they're bright. They have a nice bright ray of sunshine is what I like about Marshalls. So they just cut through everything, you know? And that's what I like about this. So it gives you, but with this tone shift and then with your EQ, you can do a lot of different types of sound, you know. You can have the bass up, you can have the mid out, you can have the treble about halfway up. You get this kind of So however you want to do it is going to give you a nice option for whatever it is you want to try to do. Whatever kind of sound you want, you know, just experimenting with your knobs. That's what I tell my students all the time. I always get a lot of people online ask me about how to get a certain tone or this or that, or how come somebody's got a great tone. It's because you got to experiment. Experiment with your equipment, okay? You got to experiment with these knobs, work on them, work with them, turn them, and do all kinds of different things with them, so that way you can get the tone that you desire. You get kind of an original sound that works for you and what you want, you know? Now that's pretty loud, and that's just on like 2, you know, so it's a pretty loud amp. And what I love about this particular amp too, it's like the Origin, is it has this little thing right here on the top of it. You can't see it in the video, but it says Jim Marshall, the father of loud. And believe me, for a little 20-watt amp, this thing is super loud. Okay, it's really, really loud. Right now, I just have it on like 2. I don't want it to be too loud because I don't want it to distort the video. But then you can also put it to half power, which is really nice for like if you're practicing in your bedroom. So we'll put it at half power and see what it sounds there. Now we have it at 10 watts. And you can see how it just got a lot quieter. But what's great about it is you still have that full distortion sound. That's what Eddie was doing back in the day. Back in the 70s, with his Variac, he was controlling the voltage so he could have that full-blown distorted sound, but at a lower volume. It's so funny how, you know, a lot of these amps and the way the guitar's made and stuff like that are standard today. What he was doing way back then in the, you know, late 70s, early 80s. It's so funny how that he really affected a lot of that. Not just the way guitars are made, but amps and pedals and things like that, just because he was just a genius at that kind of stuff. And almost all the standard amps nowadays have this half power thing that he was doing way back then. And what it does is allows you to play at a lower volume and still have that full distortion sound, you know. So let's put it back to 20 watts again. And you can tell the difference. So it's more in your face. Alright, so with that you can also use your pedals, okay? Now I just have my pedal board plugged into the front of the amp. You can plug it into the effects loop if you like. It's just, you know, either or. Some pedals work better through the effects loop, some work better through the front, so that's something you got to experiment with as well, okay? Now, I just have them through the front, but like I said, you can do stuff like, I've got a delay pedal set up here. And you can set that up any kind of way you want to do it. That's just how I have it set up. But it still sounds good. Okay. Then I also have the wah pedal. You know, got to have the wah pedal. That's important. That's a great pedal to have. Okay. I've got the MXR pedal, the Phase 90. That's a good pedal to have for if you're playing something like this. You know, stuff like that. That's cool. And the Phase 90 pedal is really cool too because it has just one knob on it, and it controls the speed of the phase. So the more you turn it up, the more it adds more phase to the sound. Now that sounds almost like chorus. Sound like a tremolo pedal. You know, you turn it up more. How it has it, and then you can turn it up all the way up, and it'll sound more like a tremolo effect. So that's a good pedal to use as well. Have that in your arsenal of pedals. Then I have a chorus pedal, and I'm using Boss pedals. I love Boss pedals, except for the MXR. The Phase 90 is an MXR, and then I have a boost pedal that's an XR as well, micro amp. But outside of that, everything's Boss, except for, of course, the wah pedal, that's Dunlop. But here's a chorus pedal if I was going to run, let's say, the amp clean, the clean channel. So that's a good pedal as well. So you can tell it uses the pedals really well, has a nice clean sound. And like I said, if you are going to get this amp and the pedals, experiment with them. See if they work better in the front, in the back. Some of your delays, your reverbs, your choruses work better through the effects loop. Some of them work better, you know, distortion pedals, overdrives, those usually work better through the front. But since what's great about this amp is you don't really need a distortion pedal because it has distortion in the amp itself. And it's got plenty of distortion. So that's kind of like an old school, I don't know, JCM 900 kind of distortion. And then you can turn up the distortion to give it more of that classic like JCM 2000 distortion. Okay. So there's all kinds of cool stuff you can do with it. You don't really need a lot of gain on this amp because it's got a lot of gain. Like I said, you could turn it down to half power if it's, you know, and this amp is really loud, so just whatever you want to do. You can really hear the difference there. this amp will definitely do the job. Okay, so there we have it, the Marshall DSL20HR, H standing for head, R standing for reverb. A great little amp, which they also make them in a combo amp as well. Okay, I bought the head because I already had the speaker cabinet, and what I like about keeping them separate is I can buy some different heads and get some different sounds. I also have a orange dark terror head that I originally bought for that cabinet, and I'll do a review on that later. But I always wanted to get the Marshall head to go with the cabinet, so it just, you know, it just looks really cool and everything. And that's a great head. 2-channel reverb, effects loop. Comes with the foot switch, which is awesome. I mean, you just can't beat it, you know, for that. What I like about it better is that a lot of the modeling amps out there, they don't come with the foot switch, and you got to buy that separate, and that's another 70, 80 bucks, you know. Be better if they would just updo the price, put the foot switch in there, then you can work with it the way it's designed to. But what I like about these Marshall amps is they come with the foot switch, and that's awesome. So you got everything you need right then and there, everything's right there in the amp, and if you want to use pedals, you can plug them in through the front of the amp, or you can plug it in through the effects loop, whatever works best for you. And like I said before, experiment with that, okay? That's the way these guys get their great tone, you know, Dimebag Darrell and, you know, Eddie Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix, and Eric Clapton, and Jimmy Page, and you know, a lot of these guys, they just experiment with their tools, they experiment with their amp knobs, they experiment with the knobs on their pedals, they put pedals in different different places. I've done that many times with mine as well, and that's what you really need to do, is just kind of work with that, design that way you get your own original awesome tone. Okay, you get you an amp like that Marshall DSL20, you'll be set. Okay, and like I said, if you need help with anything you're playing on guitar, let me know. I teach guitar lessons in person and online, okay? And sometimes, with a lot of times when we're learning stuff, we just need a little bit of help. That's all we really need, just a little bit of help. And, you know, reach out. We can get online. If you're out here in Colorado, we might be able to do something in person, you know, get you unstuck, get you on your way, get you going out there having fun again, okay? And if you need additional help with that, I also got my books, okay? Like this one here, Learn How to Play Electric Guitar, okay? Tells you all the things you need to know about, you know, what kind of guitar you need, your amp, how to get a tone, tells you your chords that you need, okay? It tells you, gives you it all in like tablature format, lesson by lesson, really easy to understand, get you going and playing rhythm, playing lead, you know, getting a good tone, having fun playing electric guitar. I've also got my book here, Rhythm Guitar Alchemy, which is a great book too. This one goes through all how to play rhythm guitar, you know, chords and strumming and arpeggiating chords, developing proper timing and all that stuff. And it also has, once again, diagrams and real easy to understand lesson by lesson format, practice habits, stuff like that, okay? And then, of course, if you're into playing lead guitar, maybe you're getting started with that, check out my books on Lead Guitar Wizardry Volume 1 and Volume 2. Okay, so Lead Guitar Wizardry Volume 1 shows you the fundamental basics of how to play lead guitar. Once again, you got diagrams and teaches you how to, you know, what kind of scales you need and how to use kind of techniques you need to make those scales sound like music, you know, intervals and your hammer-ons and your pull-offs and things like that. And then Lead Guitar Wizardry Volume 2 just goes to more extended versions of that kind of stuff. If you can see, I've got the, you know, finger tapping in there and diagrams and all kinds of really cool stuff to help improve your lead guitar playing as well. And then another thing that's really people have asked me about over the years is the modes. You know, what are the modes? What are they compared to the pentatonic scales? Well, I wrote a book on how to play guitar modes for beginners and intermediate students. And this book tells you everything you need to know about the modes, the 7 modes that come out of the major scale, you know, your Dorian, your Phrygian, your Lydian, Mixolydian, shows you how they're created. I got the diagrams and how to use them to play lead guitar. Okay, so check out my books. I've got other books too. I like how to play acoustic guitar and stuff like that, how to play guitar solos for beginners. You can find all of that stuff on Amazon and eBay. Find them at also in my website or my eBay store, Dwayne's Guitar World. Just look it up. You'll find them. They're out there. You can find them pretty easy, and they'll really help you get going with your guitar playing, okay? So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comment below. Or if there's something I left out about the amp, be sure to let me in the comments below know about that. Or anything you need to talk about, just let me know. We'll chat, you know, help you out, and there'll be no problem. So be sure to keep practicing. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for future notifications, all that good stuff, and keep practicing every day. Every day, get better, a little bit better every day, and you'll get to where you're going, all right? If you need some help, let me know. Until next time, take care.